Thank you, Tyler, for allowing me to interview you.
Yeah,
I really appreciate this.
no problem.
So let's just get started.
Okay.
So at what age did you first start learning about the Armenian Genocide?
I don't know exactly what age that I started learning about the Armenian Genocide, but I do remember that I was fairly young, maybe around 5 or 6. I specifically remember going to Rhode Island College and at a very young age, and one of my church's Armenian focused, like Armenian relief focused groups was showing a presentation on Armenian genocide and history for all the students at Rhode Island College. And that was the first time I really remember seeing the images of the genocide and really learning what it is in depth, and who I am and who my grandparents are.
How many members of your grandparents' family were killed?
So my great-grandparents were the ones who survived the Armenian Genocide. I remember that my great-grandfather on my mother's side specifically, his name was Parseh, which is my middle name. His uncle, his parents, and like the majority of his cousins and all of his family was killed. He was one of the only ones, I think him and his sister were the only two from his immediate family that survived. As for my great-grandmother, I really don't know. I haven't heard that much about her family side. But I know there's a lot of, I have like second and third cousins in France, and so we didn't all make it over to the United States. Some of us went to France. I believe I also have cousins in like Portugal.
What generation Armenian American are you?
So I'm a third generation Armenian American. My grandmother and grandfather were the first in their family to be born in America.
When did your parents learn about the Armenian Genocide?
Probably from a much younger age. Well, my father is white, so he's not Armenian, but on my mom, yeah, she probably learned from a very young age. The Armenian Genocide is really important in Armenian culture, so it's like everywhere. You really can't get away from it if you're still involved with your Armenian community.
After visiting Rick, was it talked a lot in your family?
Yeah, we talk about it a lot. April especially, because April 24th is the day we used to commemorate the Armenian Genocide. So this whole month is just filled with events and speeches and presentations and all that.
Have you attended any of the events within the Armenian events within the Providence and Rhode Island?
Yeah, I'm very active in all the events. Me and my sister, our parents. The most important event that I've shown up to is last year's Armenian Genocide commemoration for the centennial. That was huge. We marched in New York City. I don't even remember how many of us there were, but it was the most amount of people to leave Rhode Island to go protest something in a different state. So,
have you visited the Armenian Memorial in Providence?
many a time, at least once a year. My grandfather is buried in that cemetery.
Are you aware of the documentary, The Armenian Genocide, Armenian Journey from Despair to Hope in Rhode Island by Pauline Gets?
Pauline Getsoyan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you? Oh.
Pauline Getsoyan is a good family friend of mine. Yeah, I've seen the documentary at least 2 or 3 times. Yeah.
I remember watching it, and it was very powerful.
Yes.
Pauline is a great woman. She came to my Italian 390 class along with her brother George. And
Yep.
they gave presentation. And
Oh.
it was really interesting.
Yeah.
It was good. George's presentation was really, I want to say, out there because all the data, all the information that he has, and it's just impressive. Like,
Right.
do you know about the fable of the apples mentioned in the beginning and end of the documentary that Pauline's daughter says?
I don't think I do.
Well, I'll show you the documentary which it has,
Okay.
and then we'll do a follow-up question after that.
Sure. Yeah.
What novels or books have you read by Armenian authors that discuss the genocide?
I haven't. Most of my family has. I haven't gotten around to it. There's a lot of different novels, but I believe one that sticks out in my memory, and I'm not even certain if it's about the Armenian Genocide, is the Sandcastle Girls. That is one I remember meeting the author and talking to him.
Do you know about Scarlet Farm by Antonia Arson?
I don't think so, no. No.
What do you think about the myths of lost Armenian treasure within the buried ruins of old Armenian homes?
Right. Yeah.
Monuments?
So there's a lot of architecture and culture that was left in Armenia when Turkey invaded. So when you talk about the Armenian Genocide, people usually bring up all the architecture that, all these beautiful churches and statues that are just lying in Turkey, and the people in Turkey don't even know what they are because their government doesn't tell them what happened. So.
What do you know about the three pashas, like who they are, what their goal was, their hatred towards Armenians, their military experience / careers, and the deportation of women and children?
I don't know too much. We try not to specifically. Well, a lot of names aren't mentioned when we talk about the Armenian Genocide. It's more, we focus on the Ottoman Empire as a whole. We focus on modern-day Turkey and what they need to do in the present day. A lot of what we talk about when we talk about the Armenian Genocide is more of the bigger picture. We don't really focus much on individuals. Yeah.
What's ironic is one of the three pashas Enver Pasha, who helped coordinate the Armenian Genocide. He was a general, and during there was a battle where one of his Armenian soldiers, he was injured during that battle, and one of his Armenian soldiers actually carried him on his back and carried him on his back through an entire war zone to safety. And even though he and his troops lost that battle, he still blamed the Armenians, which is unreal because one of his own soldiers actually tried to help save his life.
Yeah.
Why do you think Turkey to this day still refuses to accept this as a genocide?
So there's a lot. One, obviously, it's not something Turkey wants to recognize because it's going to make them look terrible. And if they do recognize it, then the next step as Armenians is recovery and, actually making accommodations, getting our land back, some kind of stipend for everything that we've been through. And Turkey really wants to be a part of the European Union.
They do.
And it's not gonna happen anytime soon, especially if they,
don't accept it as a genocide.
right.
And I think another thing is that Hitler, before the start of World War II, he mentions Turkey, Ottoman Empire, and saying,
Right.
look at the Armenians, who remembers them?
Right.
They don't want to be associated with Hitler.
Yeah,
for what
exactly.
he did. And final question, do you believe that one day Turkey will accept it as a genocide, or that there's a possibility?
Yes, but not for a couple more generations, maybe 30 to 50 years.
Okay.
Once whoever's in power now, maybe his generation behind him, a lot of the youth in Turkey, know of the genocide, and if you talk to them about it, they say, yeah, we were wrong, we apologize. So maybe once they are able to come to power, it could be possible. And but as of right now, no, not today.
That's interesting. Also, another fun fact that one of the, I think, Jamal Pasha, another one of the three Pashas, his grandson actually apologized for his grandfather's behavior because growing up, he idolized his grandfather, but then when he read more into what he did, he was disgusted by what his grandfather did, and
Right.
so he apologized to the Armenians for his grandfather's actions.
Yeah.
This is it right here. So what do you think about that fable?
Very interesting. Yeah, I one for the storyteller, one for who listens, and one for he who understands. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Saying that you need to listen to the people talking, you need to appreciate the people who are listening, and it's great. All we want is for people to understand.
And what does it mean to you as an Armenian American when someone listens to your story?
Hopeful, because even in this country, the Armenian Genocide is not recognized. Mm-hmm. So spreading awareness is always a great way. Year after year, presidential elections, the candidates say, oh, I'm going to recognize the Armenian Genocide, I'll do it. And they step into the office, and they don't, because Turkey is a very important ally for the United States and the Middle East.
Yes.
So
the air bases and
right.
oil, I believe.
Yep.
And that's the end.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
No problem. Thank you.